So first and foremost, this video is not for views. This video is me asking for the help of black men like myself. Barack has recently said something that has angered black men and in some cases black women as well. He was in Kamala Harris's office having a discussion with other black men, and he finally said something that I personally have known to be true for a long time. So I want to tell you exactly what he said. He said to these group of black men, he said, "You're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses." And I've got a problem with that. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as a president, and you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And man, whew, him saying that has set off a firestorm and got a lot of black men really upset because, in my opinion, I think he honestly told it exactly how it is. He said it exactly how he saw it. He basically said what he sees, and he says, "Hey, some of y'all are straight up saying you're not going to vote for Kamala because she's a woman." So when it comes to whether I think he is right, I honestly think he's right. I think he's just saying the truth and saying it how he felt, how he felt. So the reaction has been crazy. I've seen YouTube videos uh, of guys reacting to it, upset, getting hundreds of thousands of views and hundreds of thousands of comments that agree with it. And then it's also been on the news, and I've heard black commentators, news people, basically say that they wish he hadn't said that. They wish he didn't go there. But it just feels to me like it was always the truth, but it's like Barack Obama went to this curtain and there was a black man behind and he said, you pulled it back. And he said, "Oh, you're not going to vote for Kamala because she's a woman." And he's like, "Hey, what's up, dude? Like, why are we doing this?" Right? That's how I feel. That's what I feel like really happened here, you know. And so to me, like, I'm a little bit confused because I wonder why are certain black men getting outraged? Because it is just a fact. Some black men are not going to vote for Kamala because she's a woman. And there's really no, like, if that's how you feel and that's what you're going to do, then that's what you're going to do. I think that if you're going to do it like that, just own up to it. Just say, hey, but the problem is you got to own up to it in public, or you got to really let it be known to whomever, like, hey, I ain't voting for her because she's a black woman. I've had plenty of friends who have said that to me straight up. They, black men specifically, who said, hey, there's no way that a woman should be running this country. They said it to me just like that. And when somebody says it to me like that, I just have to accept it because, I mean, they're just laying the facts out like how it is. Okay. Now, I just feel personally, I'm going to say this because here's the thing. Listen, I really want the help of other black men to help Kamala win. But I feel like if you reacted to it with any type of anger, okay, I feel like that's really an internal battle of right and wrong going at each other. Okay, because he only said some black men are not voting for Kamala because she's a woman. If it doesn't apply, then it don't apply. Don't react to it. If it does apply, then own up to it. Yeah, I ain't voting for her because she's a woman, right? But some of y'all are getting quite upset about it. And I feel like you guys got to understand what exactly Obama is doing. We are Kamala Harris is not guaranteed to win this. This gives me the vibe of like Hillary Clinton all over again, where it's just so tight. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the exact same outcome. By the way, where Kamala wins a popular vote and then she loses because of the electoral college and whatnot. It kind of feels like that all over again. It's almost the same thing. Okay, but you have to understand that Obama realizes that black men are choosing, generally, black men are choosing to just not vote for either Trump or Kamala. And they don't like Trump, okay. And then they just, for Kamala, it's just, oh, she's a woman. I'm not going to vote for her. just like that. And you can this is most likely true because if you look at the statistics for people who voted for Biden, 92% of black people voted for Biden compared to 78% for Kamala, right? And I feel like that whatever that little difference is, I feel like all of that difference, I promise you, that's men. That's black men. I promise you that's whatever that 92% subtracted by 78, 72. What did I say? I promise you that's black men who are not going to support her. So I'm here, like, along with Obama, I'm here to make a case and to plead with black men in this video to kind of get y'all to come over to Team Kamala because we need your help. The thing is, we need, if Kamala loses, you know what I'm saying, we can generally say that some black men might have been the reason that she didn't win. So we need black men to help really, but like we need your help bad, bad, so bad that you made Obama come out of retirement of whatever he was doing for the past 4 years. I don't know, playing golf or something. Whatever he's doing, he had to come out and say something. That's how bad we need black men to step up. Seriously. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to plead my case. And now here's the thing: I want y'all to understand something. Here is a fact. Barack Obama did not, because I feel like some of y'all are hearing something that he didn't say. Barack Obama did not say that you must vote for Kamala because you're black. He did not say that you must vote for Democrats because you're black. Okay. I feel like that's the message you're taking because the YouTube video that I watched that got hundreds of thousands of views. Basically, the guy had basically said that why do we have to vote for the Democrats? Is it just we have to vote because we're black? We must vote for the Democrats, and that's not. He didn't say that. He made a simple observation. It's something that really should not have gotten this much controversy. He just said, some of you black men are not going to vote for Kamala because she's a woman, right? And I think really, I don't know any black men. Well, I do actually know. I'm not even going to say that. I do know a couple of black men who just straight up said, yeah, I will not vote for Kamala because she's a woman. So I'm not going to say that. So really, at the end of the day, look, if you're not going to vote for Kamala, vote for Trump. I say that, please vote. Vote for somebody. Please do not sit on the sidelines because we need your help. Us Democrats on Team Kamala, we need the help of black men. We really need your help. You know what I mean? So please vote. Please don't just sit on the sidelines, you know. But I really wanted to get into this question of like, why don't black men, why don't you like Kamala? All right. You know, like I said, for some of y'all, the answer is already clear. The idea of a woman leading this country, you're just not interested in that. You know, it's unfortunate. It's historically backwards. It's kind of sad, but that is what it is. Like I said, I know plenty of black men told me straight to my face right here, said I ain't voting for her because she's a woman, and I don't think a woman should lead this country. That's all it is. Some of you don't like her because she's a prosecutor. And nobody will ever forget that Kamala was a prosecutor. Kamala worked as a part of the system, and she put people away. And I don't want to say that she put people away, but I want to say that she was a part of that system, and that turns off a lot of black men because there's a lot of black men who've had involvement with the criminal justice system and had a bad experience and don't want to be friends or associated with somebody who facilitated that experience, right? Some of y'all might have been assaulted and jailed by the system that she was a part of. Some of y'all might have experienced police brutality, racism on the part of the police. Right? Listen, I'm a guy. I will say the facts just like Barack said the facts about some black men will not vote for Kamala because she's a woman. I'm going to say the facts too. Some of y'all are not feeling good about Kamala because you were either assaulted or jailed by the criminal justice system, and so you have a bad feeling. You just don't like her being practically the face of that system, right? At the end of the day, we live in a system in law and order. I appreciate that. But it's really important that some of us, Black people, Black folks, be a part of that system so that we can change the system from the inside out. It's really important for some of us to become police officers, to become prosecutors, to become attorneys, to become a part of the system, and to become vice president, to become president. We have to be a part of the system so that we can change it. But at the end of the day, some of y'all, no matter what, will not like her because she's a prosecutor. She is the law. She is the feds. And that's it. There's no other. That's it. That's the reason why you don't like her. But here's my thing. If you only focus on the part about her being a prosecutor, you miss the forest for the trees. If you only focus on that small detail that she was a prosecutor, you miss the entire picture of what Kamala represents. And in my opinion, it's my humble opinion, everybody has a right to have an opinion, Kamala represents Black excellence. Okay? She really does. She is a representation of Black excellence. Let me put it to you this way, okay? If you have a daughter, you would want her to be Kamala Harris. You'd want her to be a success like Kamala Harris, okay? Let's talk about what Kamala Harris did. If you have a daughter, right? Kamala Harris went to law school, and like the story that we all know, she went to law school while she was working at McDonald's. You would want your daughter to go to law school, okay, and succeed at it and get her degree. Kamala Harris got her law degree and became an attorney. You would want your daughter to go to law school and become an attorney because that is Black excellence. Every time Kamala had a choice to choose between a good path and a right path, she chose a good path and achieved Black excellence. Black excellence. Okay, so let me put it to you like this. I know for a fact there is no Black man who is telling your daughter, young lady, I want you to be the very best that you can be. I want you to go to school. I want you to get a degree. I want you to become the most successful young lady that you can be. Become a lawyer, become a doctor, become an engineer, become something. Achieve Black excellence. But please, please do not become president of the United States, young lady. Please, please don't do that. I cannot stand it. If you become president, I don't care if you become a doctor. I don't care if you become a lawyer. I don't care if you become a CEO of a company. As a Black man, I cannot handle it. If a woman, such as yourself, my daughter, becomes president of the United States, I can't handle that. Right? So please don't do that. No Black man would ever tell their daughter that. Okay? No Black man would ever tell their daughter that. You would want your daughter to go to law school. You'd want your daughter to become a lawyer. You'd want your daughter to become vice president of the United States. And you would want your daughter to become president of the United States. Okay? Kamala is the prized jewel of Black America. Okay? She is a woman who always chose to do the right thing, who strived for success, and is a role model for all of the young girls in America. Okay? She is a role model for all of Americans, young ladies, young daughters, whether they're Black, white, Chinese, Hispanic, whatever. She is an amazing role model. Okay? But let me ask y'all another question. Why do y'all like Trump? I feel like sometimes we don't get into why Black men would like Trump. We don't get to the details of it. Right? And so I'd like to start a discussion on masculinity and what it represents. One thing about masculinity is both disciplined and messy. Yeah, it's both of those things at the same time. It's disciplined because, if an analogy I'd like to use is like the military, right? The military is very disciplined. In order to be in the military, you must be as disciplined as you can be. But you're disciplined to do the messy activity, the messy duty of potentially taking another man's life from another country, from another whatever, to protect America, right? And that's what's so fascinating about masculinity, because it takes discipline as a man to be successful. But there are these dirty things, these messy things that we have to do, defend our family, right? What does it mean to defend your family? You may have to take another person's life. There's other things that you may have to do. You may have to hustle in ways that aren't so right, so legal, should I say, in order to feed your family, right? It's about taking care of the people you love, right? Sometimes, unfortunately, masculinity is about taking something from the other person, right? Goes back to that war analogy, taking that other gentleman's life for your country, right? And to bring it back to a more simple point, like, for example, in the caveman times, as a man going out to hunt, and you see a pig, and you stab a pig and you put the pig down, right? That's messy. You had to do that to feed your family, right? But that's what masculinity is. It's both disciplined and it's both messy at the same time. What attracts black men to Donald Trump is because he represents more of the messy aspect of masculinity. He isn't clean or polished, right? You know, and that's very interesting to black men. You know, I watched a YouTube video of somebody complaining about the tone that Barack Obama used when he gave his message. And the YouTuber said that Barack Obama sounded so paternal. You know, I felt that he sounded so disciplined, right? He sounded like a father disciplining his child, right? And so everybody had a different reaction to that. A lot of people said, "Hey, Barack, you're not my daddy, so don't tell me what I'm going to do." Right? We all, we're grown men. We don't need another grown man telling us what we can or can't do. But at the end of the day, being a president is paternal, anyways. Being a president is like being a father for America. And when you compare both Barack and Trump as fathers, Trump reminds me of that dad who only cares about himself, okay? Self serving. He's unhappy that he had you. You're just an expense to him. He tells you to go get his remote, go get his beer out the fridge, go bring him his cigarettes. He's a deadbeat, right? That's the kind of father Trump would be, if he was your father, right? He's the kind of dad that, once mom has had enough of him, once mom has gotten upset enough and they separate, Trump is the kind of guy to not pay child support and to not support you in any kind of way, shape, or form, not help you out. You know what I mean? Distance himself. If he doesn't just completely shut you out of his life, he'll distance himself and just not help you out. You know, Barack reminds me of a father who cares. Every word that Barack says is meant to make you better. It's meant to make you succeed. Even if you don't like what he says, it's actually meant to help you succeed at life. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. That's how I took it. You know what I mean? He felt like, in that room of black men, he really felt like the adult in the room who understands what's best for America. That's how I felt. Now, if you felt it a different way, that says something about you. I'm not here to comment on that. You know, as for Kamala Harris, is going to be, she reminds me of a mother, and she's going to be the mother of America who's going to ensure that we all succeed. She's a woman who knows how to balance empathy and intuition with sternness and, of course, the rule of law. Okay? She's a woman who knows how to walk into a room full of men and gain their respect with her character. You know what I mean? So, one thing I feel like black men, I spoke to a brother, and he basically asked me this one question. He wanted to know, what exactly will Kamala do for me, right? And that's a question Black America has always asked. We've always asked that question. What's Kamala going to do for me? And what I'm going to do, because everybody says that they just don't know who she is. Nobody bothers to Google her and do a little bit of research, but everybody says, I don't know who she is. Who is this young lady? I don't know her. I don't know nothing about her. So I want to talk about what you get with Kamala. I want to talk about a couple of the things you're going to get with her as opposed to Donald Trump. So, and this is going to answer that question. What is Kamala going to do for the black man? There's a lot of other things that she has in her policies that are kind of, they help America, but they don't help the black man. So I made sure I focus on what helps us as black men. So, okay, first things first, most important thing. Kamala is going to raise the minimum wage. Okay. So, not saying that that's all that black men make. Okay. But raising the minimum wage raises the wage for all of us. I know you saw what had happened in the longshoreman strike when the dock workers went on strike to raise their wages and shut down America for one day, shut down imports in order to raise their wages. We need to have a president who is supportive of that kind of energy and wants wages to go up. Okay? And I do not want to hear the BS about how wages, when wages go up, prices go up. And help me understand something if you believe that. Okay? Number one, the prices have gone up. Let me move my hand. Prices have gone up. The wages have not. Okay? The price went up again. The wages did not go up. So wait, you're telling me that wages only increase. I'm sorry, prices only increase when wages go up. The wage is not moving at all, but the price keeps going up. So I need to understand your logic. So do we let the wage stay as low as possible, as low as it is forever, and just let the price go up forever, which is what we're doing? Is that what we're going to do? I don't understand the logic. Every time, like, it's a given, absolute given that the prices of everything's going to go up. The Federal Reserve expects it to go up by 2%, no matter what. It's in their report. If it goes up only by 1%, they're unhappy. We got to get that inflation at 2%. That's what they want. That's the number that they always want. So wages should be slowly. If prices go up, wages go up. Prices go up, wages go up. That's the dance, the financial dance that wages and prices must do. So we need Kamala Harris to raise the minimum wage. Kamala Harris is also going to make sure that she addresses corporate price gouging. Okay, the corporations that are raising prices just because they can, just so that they can get record profits. Right? She's going to make sure she addresses those. She addresses that. Okay. Kamala is going to cut taxes for the middle class and the poor. Okay, so she's going to actually focus on us. Actually, I don't want to get to Trump yet. So she's going to cut taxes for the middle class and the poor. What's already in her plan, she's going to increase the child tax credit. If you got kids, she's going to make sure you get even more money coming your way. Kids they cost money, and we need all the help that we can get. Kamala is also going to focus specifically on a credit for newborn babies. It's real simple. If you have a kid, you're going to get $6,000 just like that. And what a great incentive when we're always hearing reports about how we're not having enough kids in America to replace the replacement rate thing. We're not having enough kids in America. So she's going to make it so that if you have a kid, right, and think about it, let's make it real immediate. Okay, let's make it immediate for you as a black man. If you're about to, if you're planning to have a kid next year, or there's a kid on the way, You want Kamala to get into office because if she gets into office, she's going to have $6,000 coming to you. Okay. If you got a kid, 1 month, 2 months, not have a kid, but if your wife is pregnant, I'm sorry, your significant other is pregnant 1 month, 2 months, get Kamala into office, $6,000, a check, well, a tax credit is coming your way. Okay. Um, she's also going to increase the earned income tax credit. So what is that? Well, some of you are probably familiar with that, but let me make it real simple. For black men, for us black men who aren't making that much money, 40,000, 20,000 a year, 30,000, 40,000, she's going to make it so that we also get a credit as well if you make that low amount of money, right? So right now, if you're making under 20,000, I think you're only going to get like something like $200, right? So if you vote Kamala Harris in, she's going to make it so that you get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I think it's not as high as 4,000, but she's going to make sure that it's a generous tax credit for those of us black men. Not all of us are making decent money. And if you're a young man, it's a guarantee that you're not going to make a lot of money at your very first job. As a young black man. Let's talk about an 18-year-old young black man who might be going a little bit right wing, a little bit red pill. Don't think I don't know what red pill is. She's going to have some money coming your way. So when you do your tax refund, the most annoying thing is to do a tax refund and we only get like $200, $300. She's going to make sure it's going to be $1,000, $2,000, something like that. If you got kids, it might be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It just goes up. She's going to help us out. I'm talking to us black men. Okay. The next thing Kamala is going to do, she's going to make rent more affordable. And I don't know if you know about what has gone wrong with America, but corporations have creeped up into our housing. Corporations run our housing when it used to be more private, smaller landlords, right? Corporations run this business. And they have been colluding with each other. It's called the Real Page Conspiracy, where the FBI raided the offices of RealPage because the landlords were telling each other how much their rent is. They were doing it digitally. And when you do that, you can collude. You can raise price at this complex and say, I'm going to charge 1,000. And this complex say, I'll charge 1,000. And this complex says, I'll charge 1,500. The next one charge 1,500. And then all the prices slowly but surely go up. That's what the rental landlords were doing. And that was really bad for us. The real reason, if you notice your rent went up, that's specifically what happened. It wasn't the pandemic that drove your wages up. It was specifically the collusion going on between corporate landlords. Kamala is going right for their necks. She's going after those guys 110%. She's going for them. And we need her to do that. Okay, so if you want your rent to get lower, okay, you're going to want to go ahead and vote for Kamala, right? For those of us black men who plan to purchase a home anytime soon, Kamala Harris is going to give you $25,000 for your first time purchase of a home. If you never bought a home before, right, and you just need that money to get into that house, Kamala is going to give you $25,000. You're asking what she's going to do for black men. She's going to give you $25,000 to buy a home. If you don't want $25,000, you can vote for Trump, but she's going to do that. Okay, right now. I already said that she's going to end corporate price gouging. Corporations have been owning houses. So when she attacks those corporations, most likely she's going to persuade them to get out of housing. So guess what that means? Housing is going to get cheaper under Kamala Harris. Okay? So we're getting, you vote for Kamala, you get $25,000 for your first house. You vote for Kamala, and if you're renting an apartment, she's going to lower your rent. Okay? So the other thing she's going to do, for those of us, we understand how BS insurance is right now, health insurance to be specific. Kamala is going to remove medical debt from your credit report. Okay? One thing about black men, and I'm going to say this just like how Barack Obama would say it, some of us got some bad credit. And This medical debt is a problem for a lot of us black men. Okay, you go to the hospital, they say, yeah, well, we help you, but now you owe us 10,000, 11,000, 12,000. Us black men, I'll say it bluntly, we need all the help with our credit that we can get. So to remove this medical debt off our credit report is going to boost our credit score. So here, one more thing. As a black man, vote for Kamala if you want your credit score to go up. Right? Continuing on. Um, Social Security and Medicare. So let's talk about the older black men or the black men that may be potentially retiring quite soon. You understand, Kamala is 150% pro Social Security. Okay? If you look into Project 2025, which is connected to Trump, Project 2025 does not want Social Security anymore. They're tired of that. Okay? They think it's boomer universal income. Boomer universal income, right? Kamala Harris is going to protect and expand Social Security and Medicare for us older black men. She's going to make sure that we're looked after, right? And I actually forgot that there's a point I want to make about. Okay, I didn't get to that point yet. So the next thing Kamala's going to do is she's going to invest in the affordable childcare and long-term care. So we all know, like I said, if you have kids right now, childcare, daycare, after school is expensive. So to vote for Kamala, black men, if you're feeling that pain from paying $800 a month, which is the average monthly payment for childcare, if you're concerned about, not concerned, but if you're feeling the pain from paying $800 to $1,000 a month on childcare and after school, you need to vote for Kamala. That's going to save you a lot of money. Okay, long-term care applies to our elderly, our grandparents, and those who are elderly, and she's going to be looking after you guys as well. Okay, so she's also going to do the first federal ban on corporate price gouging. We have got to go after these corporations, especially in food and groceries. Okay, because they're raising prices just because they can. You know, um, my my kid. You know, I could tell y'all, I could trust y'all on this one. I love Coca Cola. Coca Cola at one point from Walmart went up to $7.98, right? Which is outrageous. I remember it used to be $3.99. They're going up just because they can. You understand what I'm saying? Um, Groceries are going up just because they can. So to have Kamala Harris, you're going to have a person who is going to put that pressure on these corporations when they're raising their prices. She's going to put that pressure on them to keep the prices down. And that's whatever the product is, by the way, whatever the groceries are. You want her there to be like, y'all got to stop raising these prices. Okay. That's what us black men get with Kamala Harris. Lower prices for groceries all over America. Okay. So one other thing that she's going to do for us. Okay. So Kamala Harris is a big fan of small business. Okay. And what she has said she's going to do is she's going to give a $50,000 tax deduction for first time business owners. If you're starting your business up for the very first time, you're going to get a nice, generous $50,000 tax deduction. For us black men who are entrepreneurs, right? You are going to want that tax deduction to help you out. You know what I mean? You're going to need that. So once again, Kamala Harris, and let me give a good example. You decide to start up as black men, typical thing we will start up. You decide to start up a barbershop, your own barbershop, right? A $50,000 tax deduction is going to help you so much for that small business. Whatever small business you want to start. If you want to start a food cart, because you're a chef, that $50,000 first year, she's gonna. If if you want to be an entrepreneur in 2025, you have to vote for Kamala. You have to. You know, actually, no, let's not use the word have to, because I don't want to. I'm not forcing you to do anything, but you really should vote for her if you plan to start a small business in 2025. Um, Her resume with the small business situation, she has doubled the amount of money that small businesses owned by Black and Latino people have gotten. She has doubled the amount of money that we have gotten, Black and Latino people. So once again, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for that moment to start your business, vote Kamala Harris in and start your business. You're gonna have a much better time than if you vote Trump in. Next, Kamala Harris will tax the rich. Okay, is that important? Some of us are temporarily embarrassed millionaires, so we hate the idea of the rich being taxed because we're like, hey, pretty much by next year I'm going to be a millionaire, and I don't want her taxing me all that money. But if you're not a billionaire or a millionaire yet, it's going to be really important for Kamala to tax the rich. So what is so important about taxing the rich? Why do us Democrats always say that? You know, First of all, if you have ever thought about the the debt that the United States has, the only way to pay those debts is through taxes, right? And so we have to increase taxes on the rich so that we can continue to pay that debt. And in order to expand some of the benefits that we receive, for example, if we are on Social Security and we want Social Security to increase, so that's for our older Black men. If you're on Social Security and you want Social Security to increase, it cannot increase unless we tax the rich generously, which is what Kamala will do. If you, and even for me, I know I'm a younger man as of right now, but when I get older, I want to know, I want the Social Security benefit to have increased for me 30, 40 years in the future. And that Social Security benefit will not increase without taxes, right? If you are on Medicaid, Medicare, right, you need those taxes. Those things are not, who do you think pays for that stuff, right? It's the working people and it's the corporations. So somebody has to pay for that. So you want them to be taxed, right? One thing we cannot forget, I know I'm gonna bring this issue to Black men. Kamala and Joe Biden passed that infrastructure bill. Okay. Bridges, tunnels, and highways. I know that seems, oh, how does that benefit me as a Black man? When you're driving down the street and you hit a pothole, boom, right? And it changes your radio station, right? I want you to think about that. When you hit that pop, boom, oh, what the hell, right? I want you to remember that Kamala Harris is the one who has increased the money for infrastructure so that your city can go around and fill that pothole in, right? We want Kamala Harris to fix our streets, right? To fix our bridges. Our bridges are just collapsing. I don't know if you realize it. God forbid you're just driving on a bridge and it just falls. That's bad. That affects us as Black men. The freaking bridge just fell while we were driving on it. That's terrible. Kamala Harris brought that to us, and Kamala will continue to bring more infrastructure support. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Trump. What do you get with Trump? So first off, we know for a fact from day one, the first day, Trump is going to cut taxes for corporations as much as possible. He did this already. And when he did that, he blew up our debt because he doesn't understand how anything in America works. He doesn't understand that you cannot cut taxes. You can't cut taxes the way that he did because we have a debt to pay. That's like having a credit card and you're supposed to pay $100 a month and you just say, I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to give them $25 a month. Bad things happen when you just decide to cut your bill I'm sorry, cut your payment, you know, to your creditors. You can't just do that just because it makes you feel good. So he's going to cut taxes for corporations, which, going back to what I said, that means Social Security cannot increase, Medicare, Medicaid cannot increase. We're not really going to get any of those earned income tax credits. Um, and I'm actually, I'm not going to cut to the, I'm not going to skip to that next point. But if he cuts corporate taxes, it increases America's debt. And he already has a plan to increase the cost for families by $3,900 a year by putting a sales tax on everything that we buy. So remember what I said about Kamala. Kamala is coming in and she's going to be decreasing the prices for everything. She's coming at the corporations' heads. She's decreasing the prices. Trump comes in, he's going to put on a sales tax on everything, right? He's going to put more tariffs on China and just increase the prices of it. That's all you get with Trump. I don't understand, why would you vote for a guy who's just going to make things expensive? I don't get it. Okay, so Trump has plans to kill Obamacare. That's called the Affordable Care Act. I honestly believe that the only reason he wants to kill Obamacare is because Obama's name is in it. If they didn't nickname it Obamacare, he wouldn't have given a crap about the Affordable Care Act. But I really want to talk about what the Affordable Care Act is, you know, because even I was a little bit confused about it. So the Affordable Care Act is about the principle that every American should have health insurance. Okay, point blank, period. Every American should have health insurance. That's what Obamacare is, if you didn't know. Okay, so the Obamacare, I'm gonna call it that because hell, that's in topic with the video with Obama saying what he said. Obamacare establishes the health insurance marketplace. I don't know if you know what that is, but if you know the way that we normally get a job, health insurance is through our job. When our job doesn't offer health insurance, or even if we just don't have a job, we just make money some other way. There's pre-Obama, there really was no way to be insured and to have health insurance. So when Obama created Obamacare, aka the Affordable Care Act, he created the health insurance marketplace. So I hope that anybody who's listening who has a job that doesn't have health insurance and didn't know this, I hope that you go to, the insurance marketplace and get yourself some health insurance. So I have a personal story because I was on Obamacare, and this is going to be so related to everything that I'm saying. My very first job where I currently live was at a grocery store making minimum wage because I live in a state where the minimum wage is $7.25. Okay, so I could not afford health insurance, but I wanted it. So I Googled health insurance and I found out that, as a person who is making $9,000 a year, yeah, $9,000 a year, because that's how much you make when you make $7.25. In case you don't want to raise the minimum wage, you make about $9,000 to $10,000 a year on minimum wage. And I went to the health insurance marketplace. I told them how much money I made. Okay. They said, okay, well, because you make so little money, you will get full health insurance, but it will cost you $27 a month. Wow. Full health insurance. Now, I currently have a job and I pay $200 a month for health insurance with my job. So, hey, I wish I had what I had before, but before I was broke. I was broke. So if you're making 10,000 or less, 15,000, 20,000, I believe, or less, you qualify for a reduced health care payment per month of about $20, $30, $40, $50. Okay. So Trump wants to kill that. And if he kills that, it returns us back to that period of, if you don't have a job, you don't have health insurance. Right? For those people who need that health insurance, mothers especially, right? those of us low income black men, if we need, as a black man, if we just want health insurance for our kids, right? Sometimes it's not even about us. Oh, I don't care if I have health insurance. But for our kids, right? The Affordable Care Act makes it possible so that no matter what your financial situation, no matter what your job is, whatever it is you got going on, you can get affordable health insurance. Okay. So Trump, and this topic, the next thing that Trump is going to do is he's going to he's going to attack diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. And, I kind of hate this new phrase because Republicans have kind of taken hold of it and made it into like a horrible thing. Basically, any type of policies that has emphasized diversity, as in, emphasize giving black men, Latino men, minority men an opportunity, he's going to attack it. Okay. So to vote for him is to vote for somebody who's straight up coming after any and all black opportunities. And going back to what I had said about the small businesses, so you can get a small business loan. It's a little bit easier to get a small business loan as a black or Latino or minority type of person. He is definitely going to destroy that. Okay. He is not giving a $50,000 tax deduction for first time business owners. That's not, for the love of God, that is not what he's going to do. Okay. Remember, he's the one who successfully killed affirmative action. Affirmative action being a law, not even a, was it a, yeah, it was more of a suggestion for white business owners that, hey, maybe you should hire black people once in a while, right? It never said to hire unqualified black people, but all it said was, hey, you know, make sure you hire a black person once in a while for a job that they're qualified for. That's all the affirmative action did. A lot of black men are happy that affirmative action is gone. It is silly. You know what I'm saying? Affirmative action helped us get to where we are at. Affirmative action helped us to get where we are. What we take for granted right now, affirmative action got us here. Okay? So I don't get why black men would not like it, you know. And it being here in 2024, it wasn't necessarily pulling as much muscle as it did when it first got implemented, but it was a historical action that was taken in the civil rights time to make sure that black men were able to get a job, right? So anyway, so my final request to black men. So black men, listen, I know, I get that Obama might have made you mad. I understand. You know, I really understand it. But we cannot lose you because we need your help. Seriously. We need your help. We cannot have you say, I don't like him, I don't like her, I'm not voting. We need your help so bad. Seriously. And that's why Obama had to come out of retirement and say what he had to say. You know what I mean? And so I just hope that you guys can come around and help us because we need your help. Listen, one thing I understand about being a man is that the most important thing to any man is the freedom of choice. And so what our issue is as black men is we don't like the fact that sometimes we don't have a choice between Democrat and Republican, right? We want to be able to make our sacred choice. I watched that YouTube CNN video, and the gentleman said that to go into the booth and to cast your vote is such a sacred thing to do because it's just between you. It's your vote. You can vote for whoever you want. And so what I really feel like we're frustrated with, I feel like we're frustrated that we don't get a choice because the Republicans do not give you a choice because the Republicans have yet to welcome us over to their side. They constantly make it unwelcoming for us. They're not opening the door for us and saying, black folks, you are welcome and safe. They won't do it. I get it. I get that we want to be able to debate on issues that aren't this consequential. Like we just want to, debate about gun control or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But I have to tell you that we can make it possible for the Republican Party to actually open that door to black men and let them in once we defeat Donald Trump. Once we send this message that what Trump represents is no longer acceptable once he loses, the Republican Party is going to change overnight because they have to reorganize their plan and reorganize how they're going to. They're going to understand they must appeal to everybody. They can't appeal to just the conspiracy theorists among us. They have to appeal to black men. You know what I'm saying? So if vote for Kamala, this is going to be the weirdest thing for me to say. Vote for Kamala so that one day you can actually be in the Republican Party. You know, that's my. I feel like that's a fact. You know, some people may debate that. So, anyways, so listen, I'm just politely asking you to vote for Kamala. You know, please vote for her. Rethink your perspective on what Obama has said and vote for Kamala. So I will see you guys at the polls in November. Thank you guys very much.